Welcome to Tech Daily. This is your daily source for the day's tech and social media news in 10 minutes or less. No frills, no commentary, just the news. I'm your host, Jacob Bodner. This is the edition for Tuesday, March the 13th, 2012. Let's not waste any time and get right into it because there's a lot of stuff that happened today. And we'll kick things off with the rumor mill continuing to turn for Apple. Even after releasing the iPad last week, announcing the iPad, giving everybody a look at this is the iPad, we still have all sorts of rumors about what Apple might release next. Concerning that very iPad, though, they released last week, we do now know some benchmarks on it. A Vietnamese site, tinheat.vn, today posted photos and video of the new iPad for the first time outside of Apple's unveiling event last week, and ahead of reviews from CNET and other news outlets, they somehow got their hands on it 3 days before it was supposed to be shipped to, for people who pre-ordered it and before stores get it. But here's what they did. They did Geekbench software benchmarks on it from Primate Labs, and it scored a 756. This is not too far off from what the iPad 2 pulled, which was a 751, 5 points higher. However, the test is not set up to evaluate graphical performance, which is the major upgrade in this particular model. Also noteworthy is the test did confirm that the new iPad has 1 gigabyte of RAM, which is double what the old iPad had, which was 512, and it also confirmed that it has a 1 gigahertz CPU, which is no faster than the chip that was in the iPad 2. So that's some iPad benchmarks. We'll have a lot more benchmarks when the actual unit is released to everybody on March 16th, a lot more exhaustive reviews, especially on that graphic performance. That's something NVIDIA themselves has said we're going to review about it because they don't believe Apple's claims that their chip is 4 times faster than theirs. So a lot of benchmarks will come out. This just happens to be the first one. In other Apple news, one of the big rumors coming into 2012 was the fact that Apple was going to release an actual set-top box TV. It wasn't just going to be Apple TV anymore. It was going to be Apple TV, an actual box. Well, that rumor is continuing to churn. The company's rumored high-definition television will enter, quote, full-scale production in early summer ahead of a scheduled fourth quarter launch. This is all according to a Jefferies analyst Peter Misek, who says he discovered early production evidence of the mythical iTV during a recent trip to Asia. So this is just this guy going over to Asia saying, hey, look, this is iTV stuff. This is what it's going to be. He claims full-scale production in early summer ahead of a scheduled fourth quarter release. A lot of people said, well, we wouldn't expect this now that they had the Apple TV refresh, but at the same time, if it's about content, if it's about capturing people in an ecosystem, this would still make sense. You'd still want to have people who have certain TVs continue to get Apple content while also releasing TVs of their own, especially considering Apple does produce a lot of screens, and they have a lot of, and they get screens for cheap because they produce them in mass with iPads, iPhones, the computers, and the like. It would be pretty easy for them to get into the consumer TV market, but we'll see. According to this one analyst, we're looking at a Q4 release, which would make sense considering the iPhone's in Q3. Now, it's also in the rumor mill, and this is a Samsung official claiming that Apple is releasing a 7.85-inch iPad. He spoke to the Korea Times. The guy is anonymous. We don't know who he is, but he said that we can expect a 7.85-inch version of the tablet to arrive by the end of the year. On firmer ground, they mentioned that as a key component supplier to the iPad, the Korean giant Samsung will earn around $10 billion manufacturing Cupertino's NAND flash chips, displays, mobile DRAM, and processors. Why does this Samsung official happen to know that they're releasing a 7.85-inch tablet? Well, it was also released today that Samsung will be the sole supplier of the touchscreen for the new iPad after LG and Sharp didn't meet Apple's quality requirements, according to an analyst with iSupply. Samsung, the world's top flat panel maker, currently is the sole vendor of the display for the 9.7-inch device. And this would then make sense then. If they're going to do a 7.85-inch device, you would imagine Samsung would also do the screen for that, so this guy might know what he's talking about. A lot of people also believe that the ambiguous name of just iPad and not putting a number after it kind of leaves room for a mini version or a 7-inch version to be released and still kind of keep with the naming principles that Apple has. Amazon Kindle Fire, obviously a big player in the market now, or at least, I shouldn't say big, but the biggest one that's come around outside of Apple. They are maybe feeling a little heat from them and saying, we might want to, just kill this once and for all and be the top dog without any questions and just release a 7.85-inch tablet. But Steve Jobs and Apple have always said it's a bad experience on a 7-inch tablet. We really think that the 10-inch tablet's where it's at. So it'll be interesting to see if the Samsung official and his prediction comes to fruition. Other big news today, not concerning Apple, was a big lawsuit filed by Yahoo against Facebook for patent infringement. This is kind of the the flavor of the year, so to speak, is patent infringement lawsuits. Yahoo is claiming that the social media giant's business infringes on 10 of Yahoo's patents. These patents cover commonly used features of the social web, including personalized advertising, customized portal pages and news feeds, recommendations to connect with other suggested users, and screen out spammers, social music and messaging applications, and authorizing some users but not others to see different selections of your content. These are obviously wide-ranging complaints, so a lot of people are claiming that Yahoo's kind of being a patent troll with this and not really being, this isn't really a big complaint. This is kind of just grabbing at straws here. Certainly, Yahoo has been struggling as of late, and they could use a little boost. And if Facebook has to pay royalties and fees to them for these patents, that would be a big boon to Yahoo's financials. Yahoo does say that Facebook's use of these technologies has been essential to the market share Facebook now enjoys. It says Facebook has refused to license these patents, and payment for royalties past due is insufficient compensation for their willful and repeated violation. They also want prejudgment and post-judgment interest on those damages, all court costs, and some fancy stuff like Facebook should be, quote, immediately, preliminarily, and permanently enjoined from further infringement of the patents in suit, which essentially would mean we're not going to let Facebook use these patents, which would pretty much demote Facebook to all but an address book. So that's a Yahoo trying to go after Facebook. We talked yesterday about Pinterest and their rumored iPad app. Well, not really rumored. I mean, it came out of Ben Silberman's mouth, but they're working on an iPad app. And now it seems that they're also going to be working on new interfaces for the web at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas today. Ben Silberman said that they're going to work on new discoverability features in this redesign, and they're saying that him and his team wanted to make it easier for users to stumble upon like-minded users and highlight the people their connections are repinning images from. He also said the team is working on expanding the number of things users can pin, including video. So soon you'll be able to pin video from Vimeo, Hulu, and Netflix onto your boards on Pinterest. Walmart today unveiled a disc-to-digital service that lets customers convert movies they've already purchased in physical format on a DVD or Blu-ray into a digital ultraviolet format. Customers can take these discs to any Walmart store and pay a $2 fee for online access to a standard definition copy of the movie, $5 if you'd like an HD copy. The program launches on April 16th in 3,500 of their stores. The new program, quote, allows customers to reconnect with the movies they already own on a variety of new devices while preserving the investments they've already made in disc purchases. It is essentially a library of licenses, and each account holder can then download or stream those movies on up to 12 devices, including tablets, TVs, and phones. A single account can be shared by up to 6 people. So interesting strategy there from Walmart. And finally today, Frank M. Fazio, a New Yorker, is now suing Apple for false advertising over Siri. In a complaint filed with the U.S. District Court in San Jose, Fazio alleges that Siri in real life is nothing like the Siri depicted in Apple's TV commercials. Those ads show Siri making appointments, finding restaurants, providing instructions on how to tie a tie or play the guitar. Fazio, who is represented by the law firm Robbins, Geller, Rudman, and Dowd, says those ads are, quote, fundamentally and designedly false and misleading since Siri, quote, does not perform as advertised. He goes even further, implying that without Siri, the iPhone 4S is merely a more expensive iPhone 4, and that's just outrageous. Fazio filed his suit as a class action lawsuit, so if you're out there and you're also a little peeved about Siri's lack of performance, you can join in with Fazio and go after Apple. That is your tech news for today, Tuesday, March 13th, 2012. Check us out on Twitter at TechDailyRTM. And our website, redtie.tv/TD, will expand on all of these stories and so much more. Full commentary and the like on Sunday's edition of Status Update. That's going to be Sunday, March 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern at redtie.tv. Until then, we'll be back tomorrow with another episode. Have a good one.